Okay, we're just gonna get right into this, no fluff. I think what I expected going in was that Jack Black was gonna be great. Like, we know Jack Black is really humorous, so his humor is great, but his voice, we know he can sing. And I know that unlike some celebrities, some of them know how to do voice acting as opposed to on-screen acting, and then some of them don't. And so I knew Jack Black would be good for that. Good, solid choice. A lot of us are nervous about Chris Pratt, and you're probably right to be. I can understand that. And then the other one that we got in the trailer was Keegan-Michael Key, and so we'll get to all of them in just 1 second.
Open the gates!
So where he says open the gates, that's really good. You expect Bowser to basically be low-pitched and then have a really guttural growl. You know, Bowser has really never sounded like a person, except for they did kind of like when his voice changed from like Mario Kart 64 and changed over the years, it was a little bit more human-sounding, I guess, when he would do like the you know, that sounds like a person affecting a creature-like voice. There was a man named Harvey Atkin who did his voice actually for the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, but he did a really good Bowser, which was King Koopa in those days. He did a really good voice of the guttural growl, but not low, so at least you had that. Like, you had a sound that was not so human sounding, I guess.
Listen up, troopers! I want every sign you can find changed from Brooklyn to Coupland.
And that's the thing, I knew Jack Black would be able to do that, so the open the gates line was good.
That is but a taste of our fury. Do you yield?
I do not.
We actually hear a very good voice from the King of the Penguins. Like, that was really good. And so Jack Black is still okay, like evil chuckle. It does sound a little bit Jack Black-y. Like, I think we've heard him chuckle like that before in past roles. And that's fine. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that sometimes if you have a really iconic, I think, like cartoon or video game character, and then a really iconic person, right? Like a really iconic voice of a person, and then those two conflict because the person, the icon, Jack Black in this case, sounds so much like Jack Black. It can be a little bit more difficult, I think, to break through, where you're like, yes, that is Bowser, it's not Jack Black. Like, we want to get lost in the role, right? But he's still good. Like, he's pitched kind of low. You know, he's saying, I do not. And it's deep. We like that. So everything's good, and then he gets up to the star, and
I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
So right there, he's yelling, who's gonna stop me? And that's a part where it sounds very Jack Black. Like, you know, that's my only critique right now of this Bowser. And like, he may have other moments where he's yelling like that and stuff. And that's one thing that certain voice actors, if they're more professional, if they're more experienced, they can do this, right? Is if you're yelling, if you're laughing, maybe sometimes singing, although, again, like a more trained voice actor experience can do all of these. But if you're less experienced, you sort of default to you when you're yelling. Let's say that your yell has a certain style to it, like you're probably gonna do that yell in all of your characters, even if you voice multiple different sounding characters. And so that did sound very Jack Black, you know, like it could have been deeper. I could pitch it down right here and we could see what that would sound like. I presume it would be better.
I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
But then Chris Pratt, Mario, comes on here. You can already hear him coming out of the warp pipe. It's very, very Chris Pratt. And so I had a little bit of hope. Again, there's the yelling thing, right? Like, you can't always yell if you're not like an experienced voice actor, not on-screen actor, but voice actor doing a character's voice. And so,
What is this place?
you hear him say, what is this place? Like, he's saying this, you know, I think he is trying to lean a little bit into this Brooklyn accent, but he's not really doing it. Like, it would have been this, you know, not this, but like almost dis, D-I-S. Even if it was more like Italian too, it might be a little bit more closer to this. What is this place? We're going to get to KMK in a second. That's Keegan-Michael Key. But again, this Mushroom Kingdom line, this is where I kind of get like he's trying a little bit. Chris Pratt, that is. So listen to this.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
So you notice he kind of tried to say like here, not here with a hard R, but here. Kind of do this. It's very stereotype, but do that when you're talking and you'll get what I'm trying to say. Like, here we come. Mushroom Kingdom. You know, you kind of almost give it like that mushroom. You know, it's not mushroom, like just saying it normal. Mushroom, like get back up in there. But it's Chris Pratt's pitch. It's not going to be sounding like Charles Martinet. If you have that sort of like broken English Italian of Mario from the video games, let's say, it might actually be a little bit annoying to listen to in like, let's say 2 hours plus of a movie, right? You know, just imagine Mario like, Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. It could get to be a bit much. Like if you listen to Captain Lou Albano Bono in the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Again, like that was actually a really good way to do it where he wasn't super gruff. Like Charles Martinet references the audition process for Mario was that like everybody was in there doing like a, hey, you want me to fix your sink? They were doing like a gruff Brooklyn accent. And like he knew it was going to be talking to children, so he wanted something cheerful, and that works. Again, it's more in like one or two lines, like a one-liner, a one word even, but for a whole movie that actually might have become superfluous. It might have been a little bit annoying, who knows? And so I hate to say this, you guys, because it's not the best attempt at it, but I think Chris Pratt is actually trying. Like some people are saying he's just not even trying at all. He's not trying to like differentiate his pitch at all, that's for sure, but like he may not be trying good in other ways. I don't know if he can really do voice acting compared to on-screen acting, but I think he's actually, and this is, I'm not saying it's to his credit or not, it might be to his discredit, but I think he is actually trying to affect a certain accent, just failing a little bit. It's a little miserable. I actually wish we could hear more, to be honest, just so I could say that definitively. It's just the fact that we have to like guess about this or whatever, or that so many people do think that he's just like failing miserably. It means he's pretty much failing. And so like Mario is so iconic. Like how can you fail this character? Please, no. But hey.
Do not touch that mushroom, you'll die! Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly fine. Come on, Mario!
And so the only thing I want to say about Keegan-Michael Key, who's playing Toad, I would have preferred a different actor, I'll get to that, but you can pretty much tell he's being pitch shifted, so this is an effect. It's not him actually doing it vocally. Like, you could actually take the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, actually, again, as like a Toad with attitude who has a high voice, and it was done really well.
Thanks for scaring off Koopa. You Mario Brothers are super.
But we know Toad these days, he kind of has that, yeah! And so if they did kind of want to go with the Toad from the streets, a Toad with attitude, that's fine, actually. That could work. But a person I actually think would have been really good for that would be Kevin Hart. Maybe Kevin Hart didn't audition at all. Maybe they didn't pick him if he did, but he would have been better. And I just got a message from my wife even saying that she just watched the Mario trailer and Chris Pratt sounds really regular. And I think that's the point, right? Is he sounds very Chris Pratt, just very regular. For a character so key, he's the main character, right? They said he's going to be on screen for most of the time, right? Or at least he's going to be talking a lot. A character that's so great, like Mario, we all love him so much, and then you just kind of do that voice is, it's disappointing. So we're going to give Chris Pratt a really low grade. It's going to be like a 1 out of 10. Keegan-Michael Key is just like, to me, it's meh. Other people are probably going to give him like a 6 or a 7. Like, I'm going to give him like a 4. Like, you can tell that he kind of even has this like slight Keegan-Michael Key affect, like accent in the Toad voice. I'm going to give him a 3 or a 4. I know I'm grading it pretty hard. Jack Black as Bowser is going to be like mostly an 8 out of 10. He's good. It's just sometimes you do be like, yep, that's Jack Black, like instead of Bowser, whereas first when he was saying like open the gates and whatnot, like I was immersed. It was Bowser. Pitching could be done in post-production too to make him a little bit lower if they wanted, but I know Jack Black's capable of just pitching himself down vocally and it would work. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm sure they're similar to a lot of y'all, but please put them in the comments. I want to hear them.